increase in potholes from July 2022 to July 2023. Let's talk to the CEO and founder of Snap Send Solve, and interested in your observations as well on 1300 222 891. Danny Gorog joins me. Danny, have I pronounced your last name correctly?
Yeah, pretty good, Jules. Gorog is how I pronounce it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just talk through Snap Send Solve for people who might not be aware of it first.
Sure. So Snap Send Solve is a free app available on the App Store or Google Play, and it lets the simple thing it does, it lets people report community issues in under 30 seconds everywhere in Australia and New Zealand to more than just councils. So you can report abandoned trolleys to the supermarkets. You can report damaged telco pits, like damaged Telstra pits, to Telstra. You can report graffiti on a post box to Australia Post, and you can report many other common issues to the relevant local council. And the way it works is we work out your location from your GPS or from a photo that you might have taken previously. We analyse that. We work out who's responsible in the area, and based on the incident type that you choose, we'll send it to the correct authority. In many cases, we provide the solvers. We call the people who use the app snappers, and the people who receive the report, we call them solvers. We let solvers communicate back to the snapper via the app, so it's all within the app and it's all relevant to the issue that's been posted. And it's growing in popularity quickly. I mean, we have thousands, tens of thousands, actually over 500,000 users across Australia and New Zealand. And the other interesting thing that we do is we collect feedback from our snappers. We say, after a couple of weeks after you've done your report, did the problem get fixed? And in most cases, it's 89, 90% of cases, we get reports that the issue got solved through Snap Send Solve. So it's a great tool, and when you use it and you have a great experience with it, it's like, my God, that was like magical. And that's what we've decided. That's what we design, and that's what we're happy to support.
Well, Danny, I mean, a lot of people will text me in with Snap Send Solve and as a way to do resolve issues. Let's get on to potholes, because you talk about people giving you feedback, and the feedback I received, as via an email, was that motorcyclists in Adelaide who are more vulnerable to potholes say there's been an increase. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's been a big increase. I think we provided some data to you, which I think you said 109% increase when we compare July 23 to July 22. Pothole issues year on year, so when we look at the last 12 months versus the 12 months, are up nearly 99%. And then when we look at more broadly, potholes fits into the category which we call roads and signage. There's 136% increase when we compare July to July. Just to kind of put some colour on those numbers, we're talking about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 reports for that category just for this year alone. And so we don't have the complete numbers, but it will grow a lot.
Because I get people communicating to me that their car has been damaged by a pothole, but I think a council's only liable, if it's been reported and they haven't fixed it, then I think they can be liable. I mean, this is just a guess, Danny. I'm not a legal expert. So you have to report a pothole first, don't you?
Well, sure. I think, I'm no expert on liability either, but the first thing to do is report it to the relevant authority so that they have the knowledge and they can go out and kind of repair it. A lot of these things get, there'll be multiple requests from lots of different channels, and they would, have a schedule of prioritising what's really important to fix and what's sort of less important to fix. There's also a slight complication with roads in which some roads are council roads and other roads are state roads, and you can send to both in the app. It's just a little bit, you might get it wrong, but what we've built on the back end for the solvers is what we call a reassign tool. So with one tap, if it's not for them, let's say you send it to a council and the council says, actually, this is a state road issue, with one tap, they can reassign that to the state road authority. And then you as a snapper gets an update in the app to say this has been reassigned to a different authority, and then that authority is responsible for solving the issue. So we sort of solved it at the front end. We've made it as easy as we can at the front end for people in the community to report stuff, and then we've made it as easy and as convenient in the back end for the the councils and the authorities to take those reports and process them efficiently, and keeping the community member in the loop the whole time. And the beautiful thing is, just the last point is that, you know, oftentimes you wander around the community and you're like, well, what can I really do to help out my community? But what we hear from our snappers is they, 30 seconds a minute to take the time to report something that doesn't look right and it gets fixed. They just feel really good about doing that, and that's what we love to hear.
Well, one texter says that they did just that. They sent the photo in on your app and the pothole was repaired the next day. So that's a tick of approval. Another texter says, my husband said there are some potholes in regional roads that are so big you could hold a wedding reception in them. That's not good. 1300 222 891 if you'd like to talk about potholes or maybe snap, send, solve. Danny Gorog is the CEO and founder, and he's just talking through that there's been a 109% increase of pothole reports on South Australian roads from July 22 to July 2023, and motorcyclists in particular have been complaining about this because I guess they're more prone to having an accident with a pothole. Pete joins us on the phone on 1300 222 891. G'day, Pete.
Hello, Jules. Yeah, I've used the Snap Send Solve app on numerous occasions, and just recently we had a pothole that's been in our street giving us all some concern for a while, so I did the Snap Send Solve thing, and the next day the council repaired it. So I'm very satisfied with it. So
is it easy to use, Pete?
Sorry?
It's easy to use the app.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm in an old fart, and I can still work it out. Yeah.
Old fart. Thank you, Pete. Danny, I mean, we've talked about potholes, but what else can you use it for? You know, what are the common usages of the app?
We look at the common ones. Abandoned trolleys, massive across Australia. I think probably my estimation is this year we get 80,000 plus abandoned trolley reports across Australia and New Zealand. It's also one of the higher categories for South Australia. Rubbish and bins is a massive issue. Things like dump rubbish in a variety of ways, whether it's kind of just on the nature strip or whether it's illegal dump tyres in a bush somewhere. Massive problem. I mean, pavement and footpath captures quite a lot of stuff. That could capture damaged telco pits. Like if you see a Telstra pit, you know what a Telstra pit looks like in the street?
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes these things are really old. There are millions of these things around Australia, and they've just rotten and they're broken and they're really dangerous. And Telstra do a great job actually of repairing those when they hear about them. But they're a real issue. Parking cars, illegally parked cars, people parking in disabled zones or parking on nature strips or blocking driveways, all sorts of crazy stuff we see. Actually the app started when I took my young son to a playground and the swing was broken and he couldn't go on the swing, and I looked around and I'm like, how will I get this fixed? That was the idea of the app. But parks and council facilities is another big category. And then graffiti and vandalism is massive. We've got water, we've got power issues, graffiti on power poles. It goes on and on and on. And it's just great to have the one app instead of kind of working out who do I report this to and going, it's too hard, I'll just move on and keep drinking my latte, I'll keep walking my dog. People have got the solution in their pocket.
And is the app free, Danny?
Completely free. Completely free. It's completely free for snappers and it's completely free for solvers. Our business model, which we get asked a bit, is so we send all the reports for free. There are councils who receive a large volume of reports, and they can integrate with what we've got. It's called an API. They can customise the incident types, the questions they ask. They can get some data and analytics and a whole heap of other things.
So for the councils, you're a good resource, I'm guessing, Danny.
Yeah, I think so. They seem to love it. And they promote us, whether they're a customer or not a customer. A lot of councils promote us because it's just a really convenient solution for the community, and it really works well for the solvers at the other end as well, because they get to reassign reports to each other. And we think we're doing, I like to see software that makes a difference in the real world, and this is a great example of that.
Danny, thank you. Many people mention that app to me, so it's interesting to get a backstory to it. Thanks for your company.
Thanks, Jules. Appreciate it.
Danny Gorog is the CEO and founder of Snap Send Solve. Lots of text coming through. Someone says it's telling that it